Throughout history, sharks have been labeled as ruthless predators capable of devouring anything in their path. But what if I were to tell you that though they may be apex marine predators, many at times they end up being prey?
It took a while because, with the bad press of Jaws and all these things, people figure, if you're pulling sharks out of the ocean, you're helping humanity, and not really realizing the effect on ecosystems or eventually on humanity.
Indeed, the shark population worldwide is on a decline. So much so that conservationists have taken action to devise a 10-year shark strategy to regulate and stabilize their populations. The research station out at Glover's Reef Atoll serves as a home to this study and plan of action.
So Glover's Reef is a globally famous location for shark and ray conservation and research. So here on this atoll was where some of the first research ever conducted took place into how do you protect sharks and rays using marine parks, marine protected areas, so national parks in the ocean. Here researchers over the last few decades have undertaken work to understand what factors increase your chances of conserving these predators. Sharks and rays are actually the second most threatened group of animals on the planet now. They are very slow to grow and reproduce, and that's led to huge population declines around the world. But here in Belize, where it's a national ray sanctuary and there are strong fisheries management measures in place for sharks, we've started to see stabilization and some recovery. But the work here at Glover's, conducted by WCS and partner scientists from locations such as Florida International University and Moat Marine Lab, has allowed us to understand better what types of conservation action should we conduct to save sharks and rays. We really do face losing these ancient ocean predators in the next few decades unless we all act globally to save them. A bit like jaguars and other big predators on land, these species really can't take high levels of pressure from humans. And just like those predators on land, they help keep healthy marine ecosystems by eating sick and older fish, keeping coral reefs in balance.
There is a lot of money to be made from catching, selling, and often smuggling shark game and fins to other countries. This is why stricter laws have been enacted, like a ban on gill nets and a ban on shark fishing within a 2-mile buffer out at the Keys.
In other parts of the world where WCS works, there's very intense targeted fisheries. People are actually targeting sharks, somewhat for meat. We have programs in Guatemala just across the way, and people are eating the meat but then selling the fins to overseas markets, and that's a huge driver because the fins are so incredibly valuable.
There are over 1,000 shark species in the world, with only a few dozen of them living in Belize, like the Caribbean nurse shark and reef shark. Researchers noticed a decline in their numbers 30 years ago due to sport fishing, wildlife trafficking, and other illegal fishing activities. The root of this stems from poor management of a country's marine resources.
30 by 30 is our global recognition that we need to make peace with nature, and that is reflected in a global target that is conserving the 30% of our oceans by 2030. So this means that we need to work collectively to conserve our planet and the life system that oceans protect. So that means that if we want to achieve 30 by 30, we need to center the real sea stewards of the sea, the coastal communities, as leaders of this process. And that is where our center strategy is. The core of our strategy is to assist, support governments around the globe to be able to have equitable process, generate the local enabling conditions for coastal communities be not only empowered but actively engaged in the management of their resources.
While there have been drastic changes in terms of regulation and policy, conservationists try their best to work with the locals who depend on the sea for income. How can they provide alternative livelihood support that will not result in them harming the ecosystem or disrupting the balance in a food chain?
Fishers are going to do illegal activities when they may have no other recourse, when that may be the way that they're able to feed their families. So we need to be looking at the social aspect of fishing. We have to be understanding what are the drivers, what brings people from Belize, and what brings people from outside of Belize, and how do we develop collaborative projects and initiatives to help alleviate the pressures that they're under to enter our waters. How do we in the way that we may have been doing so for Belize, where we support with alternative or supplementary livelihood initiatives through grants, through training, and there are many organizations and initiatives that have been supporting these things. Right now we are doing an assessment of those past projects to be able to develop something with the communities to understand what may be better suited for the communities that use Glover's Reef in particular and Saltwater Key. What would be better suited for them for income support?
Jomarie Lanza, 7 News.